Let's learn about the automatic email sending system of Vimam. Open software. The automatic email sending system is displayed on the screen where the mouse is hovering.
It's possible to configure up to 40 different emails.
As we can see here. We'll go back here to Email and Entry 1, where we can see that we have the input data here, where we configure the variables of the camera that will be analyzed. And below here, the variables of the camera that will be analyzed, but related to the frames that will be analyzed or attached to the email. Right below, we have the email sending data, like the email that will send. The email of the person who will receive the copy. Copy recipient. Person who will receive the blind copy, subject, and body message of the email.
In this tab above, where we have the frames,
when we insert here, they will be attached to the email along with the typed text. How we validate the types of emails that can be accepted. Through the connection button. On the connection button, we already have here, for example, a configured SMTP type email that we will use for the test. However, we have several types like SMTP without a password, like Microsoft via Corporate API, Microsoft via Personal API, Gmail via API, Gmail via SMTP. Email sending, especially Microsoft and especially Gmail, undergoes constant security changes over the course of the years. At times, it may happen of the software version you're using might not accept the type of configuration executed. However, versions of Vimam are always updated with the latest security conditions.
in our case, we'll leave SMTP selected here and validate it.
To use this as an example, below we have a test button where we can configure it here. We enter the sending email and an email to receive it, and we'll start here with test 1. Send the test email.
When opening the log file after the email is sent,
we can check if the email was really sent. Here, as we can see, the email was sent. If any error occurs, the error will appear in this log list.
We'll open the email here.
As we can see here, we have the email inbox. An email was received with the word hello and the subject in question. Back to Vimam. We'll now open Camera 1 and attach Camera 1 to the email.
Let's open Camera 1. As we can see here, the Camera
1, where there's an image of a machine's output. Of paper in an industry will simulate sending an email when a person enters an unsafe area like For example, in the region where the paper is passing here. When the machine is running, we'll come here and select tool number 1 as an example. We'll select the region I want to be analyzed. I want the analysis to be done in this region. In this analysis, I want to identify if there's a person or not. For us, the operator is in that region when the paper is broken. We start monitoring. No person. Now, when there's a person, the output value is 1, as we can see here. I'll increase the confidence index a bit for our test. Meaning when a person is identified in this region, the result will be 1. We'll also use a storage time for this result of 1 second. Meaning when the value is 1, it will remain 1 for 1 second. As we can see, the person left, and the result is no person identified. Done. With it, we'll go to the transmission inside.
The transmission will select the variable we will read.
For example, I'll register variable 3, related to my result 1, when someone's there or not. Once that's done, I'll activate the DB file output with the 200 millisecond update. I'll also activate the camera image output, including the region that I sketched, with the storage interval of
250 milliseconds. A frame is captured every 250 milliseconds.
Storing up to. In our case here, we'll set it to 20 frames. Pay close attention at this point, as the larger we make the image size,
And the smaller the interval,
the more processing and more usage of the SSD will be used. It's very important to configure at the speed. We actually need and at the size we really need to. Avoid excessive processing.
and be able to make more configurations without the processing
of the computer or the server in question being high. We'll start. Once that's finished, we can close. We can check here in the log file that the image transmission and the DB file data transmission have started. This way, I can hide the video or show the video if I need to. But analysis stays. In this case, we'll leave the sample. The video to identify the exact moment the email is sent. We'll minimize and keep the camera module running, and here we'll configure the DB file. The data received in the main module will select here the camera we configured. In our case, camera 1. We'll select the variable that we'll work with, variable 3 for us. Here. For now, we'll leave it equal to without. Any configuration will activate the same. The reading value result will be 1 when someone is in this region. Here, we can create a logic. For example, if the result value equals 1, because in our case, 1 is for positive and 0 for negative. The output value will be 1. And when I activate the email tab, the output value here will be 1. This email is sent. When we also configure the frames as we observe below, we select the camera in question that we want the frame to be attached to the email, and we can press the update button. As we can see, the value 20 frames here was updated with the maximum value we set there, which is the software has up to 20 frames to insert into the email. Put here that the last frame will be inserted, captured. By the camera at the time the email is sent. For example, as we can see, there might be a certain delay from the image until the email is sent. We can also put here the sending of frame number 5 and frame number 10, where we will have all 3 frames being that they are spaced every 250 milliseconds. This is the last frame. Will be the frame around 1 second earlier, and this will be the frame around 2 seconds earlier. We will wait until a person is identified here. The value here is 1. And when we look at the log file, we already can verify here that since the person was passing through the area, the email was sent 2 times. Because the person passed here several times, right? As we can see, the email was sent every 1 second. Because it was set here with only a 1 second pause between email sends. Let's change this pause value here to 10 seconds. And a 1 second pause for each email. In our case, we'll set it to 10 seconds to avoid too many emails. When we open our inbox, we can see here that the email arrived exactly when the person was in the region, selected with the email's text and title. We'll wait here again for the roll to break. Let's run a test here by increasing this time to 5 seconds to keep the value at 1. For 5 seconds. If a person is identified here, these timing adjustments are crucial to allow enough time. For example, here it went to 1. When we open here, the result went to 1. The value 1 will be maintained here for 10 seconds. But only after they leave the area. And we can see here the email being sent again. We set a 10-second delay. If the person stays in the area here for more than 10 seconds, another email's sent. In other words, this is a cooldown period to prevent too many emails from being sent. This is the basic operation of Vimam's email sending.